Who are those guys?
They're known as scraps, outcasts and deserters who choose to live beneath us in sewers and abandoned tunnels. They're a constant irritation to our harmony.
They're nothing but thugs and hooligans.
DIYers, what's going on with y'all? I'm Curtis King, and this is Live from the Underground. This is a series spotlighting independent artists, building with intention and purpose. We focus on origin stories, creative philosophy, and what it really means to build independently, regardless of access, platforms, or systems. Let's get into today's guest, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'm joined by a gentleman by the name of J Squared. J Squared is a cultural storyteller bridging independent music, creative writing, and advertising. He came up during the 2016 SoundCloud era and later expanded his path as a copywriter at Wilden and Kennedy, contributing to culture-shaping work for brands like Jordan Brand, MLB, and Sonos. Beyond music, Jay has built a large audience breaking down hip-hop lyrics and now, that's what you recognize him, breaking down hip-hop lyrics and now focusing on helping independent artists and culture-driven brands think more intentionally about storytelling and strategy. Jay Squared, I appreciate you being here. Welcome to Live from the Underground.
Hey man, we in the building, dog. DIYers.
Come on, man. And for those of you that are already in this DIY community, you recognize his name because he submitted music to Critique My Beats a few times, right? That was kind of our first introduction. But ever since then, you know what I mean? He got too big for us and he been blowing up all over TikTok. And then I remember when he first started, he was like, Curtis, I think I found something. I was like, oh yeah, come back. That man is like, how many followers you got on TikTok right now?
A little bit over 250,000, so about 280, something like that. We get the numbers. We going for it.
A lot of people who always got 200,000, some on some a little over. You can't say a little over. There ain't no such thing as a little over. You know what I mean? Like once you get to 200,000. Somebody like, I just want the little over.
Just get that little over.
Get that. You know what I'm saying? Like you could do without that. No. So tell us, how did you get the name J Squared? Where did that name come from?
Man, it ain't cool, but I can tell you. So my government name is John Johnson. So John Johnson Jr. Name so nice, you got to say it twice. Mm-hmm. And my algebra teacher in 9th grade, there was a lot of other Johns that were in my class, and I was the only one that was named John Johnson. So my algebra teacher was like, J Squared. And I'm like, all right. I didn't like it at first, but then I just kind of just grew on me, and I'm like, all right, let's just deal with it. Let's work with that. Shout out to Miss Kowalski at HFA. So
little did you know that was launching the first part of your brand and for your music career. Isn't that something? Shout out to her. She saw the vision.
Yeah.
She saw the vision.
And she saw the vision early, real early. Early adopter.
Right. What city do you represent, and how did that environment shape who you are as an independent creative?
Man, Detroit, Michigan, Big 313, home of the Carhartt Cadillacs, home of the most funeral homes, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's a lot be happening over in Detroit, man. Detroit has been this like epicenter of just soul, music, creativity, so many different things. And like it's all techno is created in Detroit, bro. Like all these things happening, smorgasbording and making a big melting pot into who I am today. And I would not be here if it were not for the city of Detroit. Shout out to Michigan.
Detroit. Come on, shout out to Detroit one time. One of my favorite baseball players was a Detroit Tiger, Cecil Fielder. Coming up, Cecil Fielder. He was like swole. He used to be
ball.
Oh man, I know 90s baseball for sure. Tell me about, what do you remember about the first song you ever made, J Squared, before you thought about an audience or a career? What is the first song what do you remember about that first song?
Dang, the first song that I ever made, like it was over the homie's crib, like on some in the closet type situation, rock band mic, off of the Fruity Loops, not the FL. Different energy, like
that's when that logo was ugly. Yeah, the logo was ugly. No offense, Image Line, but that logo was ugly.
All respect to Image Line, like it was, Man, I could not tell you that verse. I definitely couldn't tell you that verse, but
Yeah.
I knew I was so excited just to be on the mic and be able to just write, because I used to write poetry and stuff when I was in middle school, and I just always loved creative writing. So
Mhm.
hearing my voice for the first time, I'm like, what is this? Changed the life.
Man, yeah, that first time you hear it, some people cringe, some people are like, they feel a
Hmm.
moment is happening in the moment. Um,
Yeah,
on the opposite end of this, what has been the
yeah.
hardest moment in your journey as an independent artist or DIYer so far?
Man, honestly, dude, that's such a good question. Like recently, I think it was really like kind of like the pandemic into 2022,
Mhm.
so I kind of came up in that world where you could still bust down like a physical, you know what I'm saying, a physical out, when that was just it was no Opify, there wasn't none of that, you know what I'm saying. So it's like, shout out to Sheefy McFly for pressing my first albums, you
Come on.
feel me, and come on now. And but that was like back in 2014. But when the pandemic hit and everybody's just kind of on socials and stuff, like streams ain't doing what it's supposed to do, obviously. And then I transitioned into working in the advertising back in 2022 at Wyden and Kennedy, and just that whole corporate lock-in world was very much like, okay, I have money, but don't have the creative feeling to want to like
Mhm.
do the thing, because I'm really trying to push the creative onto other brands. And like that was, I think, the hardest thing for me to experience, like just because like it's tough to navigate, you know what I'm saying, and still stay authentic. You feel me?
A, a question that's not on this list, but one that's specific to that advertising job that you have. I have so many friends who do experience the same thing. They get a good paying
Yeah.
job and it takes care
Hmm.
of all those, moments where you're like, this music got to get me paid. And you finally get paid and you're like, I ain't got to put that pressure on the music. A lot of them
Nah,
never come back to music. What
man,
brought you? What made that a non-negotiable for you? And how were you able to navigate both?
that's a fantastic question. Culture, hip hop, my peoples around me being so encouraging. Shout out to Long Visionary. Shout out to Santana Sleep God. You know we in here. Shout out to Simpy. Shout out to Dot. If it was not for my peoples, my community, and like, shout out to Black folks. Like if it wasn't just for being around us, you feel me?
They go the first button of the day. They go the first button of the day. Let them know something.
Let's go. Oh my God. Funny enough, this is off topic, but my favorite button is the Dick Gregory button. That is my favorite button all day.
You know how many times I do that without even knowing I'm doing that? I'm like, damn, I'm really somebody unk right now. I'm like,
Yeah. Hey, they wasn't hip to Dick Gregory though. Like,
oh, he
see,
was on
that's
point. He
different
was on
too.
point.
But
What
yeah,
is,
I
yeah.
think that's what would happen for sure.
Okay. What's a mistake you made early on as a DIYer that taught you the biggest lesson?
Mm. Relying on streaming and socials and all of this stuff to get my point across and get my ideas out there.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an idea, okay, whatever it is creatively, if we talking DIYers, it's an album, it's an EP, it's a single, that is yours. It ain't Spotify's, it ain't Apple Music's, it ain't SoundCloud's, it ain't Audio Mac, it ain't none of that. It's
Hello.
yours. So what you do with that is the thing that's going to be the thing that take you to that next step. You know what I'm saying? And like, of course, when you sitting here getting millions of streams and things starting to come in, you're like, oh, I think this is it. This is the moment. Like, and then Daniel Egg just go, boop, and you done. Like, come on now. Slack, what's up out of here? Like, ain't nobody.
Allegedly. I don't want to get no issues. You know what I'm saying?
We don't want
People in high places and all that. Um, with that said,
to.
let me ask you this. Where are we going to start with this? When did this stop being a hobby and start feeling serious as an independent path, not just a creative outlet?
Man, yeah, I would say, yeah, 2016 for sure. 2014 into 2016, because I was doing live shows and stuff, throwing open mics and stuff for artists in the city, and like 2015 was weird, and then 2016 was like when I started to kind of get more global acclaim, where people from just different countries started to kind of tap in, and like still trying to take that bit that I was learning from just being on the ground with it and being physically into a person's face, and then taking it to the internet and trying my damnness to cross the two worlds. Yeah, I would say 2016. I used to make heavy lo-fi hip hop music, like super duper lo-fi. Shout out to all the lo-fi artists, the real ones, not the AI ones, obviously. Get out of the space.
You like them AIers ain't in here. Them DI triers. They're not in here. They're not in here. They DI
ain't even DI trying.
They DI lying. They DI lying.
They're
DI
that's
lying.
another button. DI lying all day, man. And
So,
but the real ones.
Yeah. Can I ask you something specific about that? You said it was 2016 when you started to see a global presence, I guess, amongst your network. What do you attribute that global expansion to?
I honestly, like, for sure the people that was around me, like, being encouraging, but for sure it was a lot of the numbers and stuff like that. That was a thing. But I think that was the time when I was the most authentic with my pen. Like, because the music I was making at the time were just mainly love songs. If I had a crush on somebody, they got a song.
Be in the song. Well, no, I was more so asking not the source of it, but more so, was there a moment that happened of virality? Was there a moment where you collaborated with somebody internationally? Like, what do you think where do you think that international audience came from?
Yes. Okay. So it came from a song that I got called Bottle Caps, and it was produced by this producer named Tampa B. Shout out to Tommy, and he already had a big name at the time. And so in the SoundCloud times in 2016, especially in the lo-fi community, all you had was just a color or like an icon as your face. You know what I'm saying? This is when Russ was like just popping and everything like that. And so when you just hitting people up and you dropping a couple songs and people like, oh, I like this, like, you want to work? It was really authentic, like just like real clean peer-to-peer, just respect off the craft. And we made Bottle Caps, and I think right now it's sitting at 1.1 million just on SoundCloud.
Just something slight. 1 point
on SoundCloud. It's probably like about 4 or 5 or 6 or something on Apple. But hey, you know it is what it is.
You feel me? Like, this is something light. What was the first money you ever made from your independent work, and how did that moment change how you saw yourself?
Okay, I'm gonna answer that twice.
Okay.
So the first time, it was in 2014 when I dropped my first album. It was called Symmetry. And I was like, okay, I'm posting this to TuneCore. I'm big overthinker. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm about to do, but I posted it, set it and forget it. I didn't even think about it. No promo, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then I went back and looked at my royalties and whatever, and that said $27. And I lost it. I said, it's over. I said, big money, take money.
I'll take that all in one. I'll take that all in ones. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm sorry. I couldn't. Your reception breaking up.
And that was the first moment that, because I just wanted to make music, make money off of music. And then the second time when it happened, I was working at Walmart in Dearborn, which I like. If you from Michigan and you know Walmart in Dearborn, yeah.
Oh,
so yeah, it's one of them ones. People used to just knock my boxes down, just like, it was crazy. It was so wild.
That sound like Walmart. What you mean?
yeah, pretty much Walmart.
Anywhere you got a Walmart, you about to see some. Go ahead.
You ain't lied there. And when that happened, I was working like a full-time job with part-time as a label, so it was probably not legal. But at the time, I now I'm starting to like get into my lo-fi bag. It's when I dropped a song called Carmen on Spotify, and that's when I saw my check that I got from Walmart
Mhm.
on TuneCore. I was like, what am I doing? Like, why am I here? Like a 40-hour a week. I think I was making what, $7-8 an hour or
Yeah.
something like that on Spotify. I'm like, or TuneCore. I'm like, nah, dog. Like it's over with. This is what I gotta do.
Yeah.
And everything changed there, bro. For real.
Let me put a pin in that because that's such a fascinating point. In that, you know, DIYers, a lot of you are either en route to this journey or it seems like a very far journey. You like, let me get the job first so I can quit
For real.
it. But for those of you that are in that situation, you got to imagine that's got to be a crossroads type of moment where you're seeing from one particular song. And I always say when you press export on a beat, you press export on a song. Yes, that is your baby, that is your passion, that is your everything, but it's also digital real estate. And you're
Yep.
placing it in either your website or these different outlets. But the moment he hit that export and put that up there and he saw that that check rivaled his check that he was getting from Walmart, he had a decision to make. And for some people, you know what I'm saying? That's all I got to see before they make that step. What did that moment tell you specifically? Because you were kind of alluding to it, but what did that moment tell you specifically when you said, what am I doing?
It gave me the it was the moment where I think it had to have been God, where he was just like, you got it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Cause like I'm like, huh? Like I couldn't even process it because I feel like I've heard for most of my life that like it's like, oh, you're not living in reality. I feel like most artists be hearing that sort of phrase growing up, like you're not living in reality. And most people don't know that as a creative, we're trying to actively create a new reality in the one that we're in.
Hello.
And that's a whole different bag. So when I'm getting reality money at Walmart with a job and it's stable and it's a thing, and when I actually created a thing and made money off of this thing that I just crafted out of my brain, it's the most unreal feeling that you've ever experienced in your life. So like, you know, I think that was that moment. It was just, you know, it was just kind of like, you got this. That's what I heard for sure.
What is one thing, excuse me, what are the actual ways you make money today as an independent artist across music, writing, media, maybe even social media?
Man, there's so many ways to make a dollar. What is what if
You on
baby
live from the
Charles?
underground? Come talk to us. See,
Hey, there's so many ways to make a dollar, dog. Man, not only can you do streaming, you know, just in the music sense, you could do streaming, you could do physicals, you know, merch and all that stuff. We already know. You already taught everybody that.
this ain't that. I don't know what you're talking about. I am an up and coming media voice, and I am just trying to find my way. All right, I'm talking to Jay Squared today. Continue, sir. Oh, you're talking
So
about.
that's one way to do it. But then as a creative writer, especially as a copywriter, as of now, I've been freelancing with brands and just trying to like communicate their like brand voice to other brands or creators or other consumers and stuff like that. People don't know that creative writing can go in so many different directions. Like I'm also a writer with my dog, Lone Visionary. He's a filmmaker, 3D animator, you know what I'm saying? 3D artist with Unreal Engine, and he makes films and stuff like that. So I mainly just help him out with writing and stuff like that. He's big brain, and I'm just like messing with the details, you know what I'm saying?
Is that the one that was in that video that you had that you posted where you was like, it was like a bald white man and you was using your voice? I'm on my Instagram, ladies and gentlemen. I'm on my Instagram, and I see a balding white man in like a wife beater, and it sound like Jay Square, and I'm like, my brain is trying to connect dots, and then he pans the camera. Whoever is recording it, I'm assuming that's the director and the editor. He pans it to you, and you talking in the mic as the person. This Unreal Engine shit is crazy, bro.
It's the future. I ain't gonna lie. We've been just sitting there talking about it, like the attention that's been getting. It's like I'm getting followers from all over the place. He getting followers from all over the place, and I'm like, and we just playing, like just literally. And I think that's kind of a circle back. Like
Right.
you can for sure make money off of just playing. Like you can make
Mm.
that's I think that's the thing that people don't really get. Like we really love the art. You know what I'm saying? Like people need to know to just post it, bro. Have some fun with this because it ain't really like in your control 100%. But if you really lock in on what you love or what you having fun with,
Mhm.
that's gonna turn it up every time.
Can you,
Somehow. Way.
since we on the topic of social media, can you kind of talk specifically to you? This is customized to you. Can you talk about
Yep.
a little bit of, a lot of artists do struggle independently with, I dedicate all of my energy to this music and I love this music. And when they get into social media, it feels like they're being asked to be a marketer. And a lot of
Yeah.
them don't realize that you're able to leverage your interests to find like-minded people. And that's
Yep.
something I think that you unlocked. I remember you shot me the message like, hey, Curtis, I think I'm on to something when you did your first Kendrick Lamar lyric breakdown. But I don't want to ruin that point. I want you to talk to them about how you've been able to kind of find your niche or even your voice or the process of finding your ideas so that you had something in the content space to elevate your platform.
Man, that's a good question, dog. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I think it would start for sure with like there's this video on YouTube called "Everything Is a Remix." I don't know if you've seen it before, but it is true to life game. Everything in the content space, whether it is a song, whether it is a piece of content, whether whatever, is three things. You could either copy it, transform it, or combine a thing. There is no original thing. Even you go to the Bible, I said they don't say there ain't nothing new under the sun or something like that. It's like something like that.
You just making up scriptures.
It's
Give or
in
take.
James.
You might have been
Give or
John
take.
or somebody. I don't know.
Like that. So who knows? But yeah, it's taken. You could either copy a person because the thing is, we're in a treasure trove
Mhm.
of inspiration and things and content and stuff like that. On one hand, you could transform a thing where it's like, oh, I made this book, but I want to make it my own way. You know what I mean? And or you could combine a thing where you take in transform and combine two things together and make a thing. And that is kind of the way that I feel like ease you up a little bit so that way it's not as much pressure to kind of be like you don't have to be Dan Wyden or David Kennedy to try to make the best content or advertisement or whatever it is. You know what I mean? I hope to answer your question.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah.
what content took off for you? Like, what was the content that for you that people are most probably are the ones that they're referencing the most for you?
Okay. So that's a good question. Well, it's definitely that 3D video right now. I'll tell you that. Like,
I'm talking about more so early on because when I
Mm,
talk to artists and I do coaching calls, I tell them to test things out, and I don't think they
yep.
realize how much testing it's going to require. I told an artist recently, I said, "Man, I'm doing a series right now called Beats That
Mm,
Hit Different." And I
yeah.
already know what this process looks like. The first few episodes
Yeah.
may not necessarily be a lot of visibility. And then you're going to catch one if you really meant to do this. And it may be 15 episodes, 20 episodes into it. But for you
Yeah.
obviously have tested out different content buckets. Was there one specifically that took off? And that's the one you kind of, I would say, maybe built your foundation off of.
Man, okay, I see what you're saying now. Like, so on Instagram, I used to do these things called these listen videos where I was like, I would go into the camera and just be like, listen, and I would just kind of just say just whatever was on my mind at the time.
Mhm.
The thing is, I started getting attention off of it being funny and me just having like a thing. But of course, if we making music, there's got to be that one pivot point to kind of like transition you into that sort of world. So at first it was kind of general where I'm just like, listen, if you texting her 4 times and she ain't answer, she don't like you. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's one of them type of things. And then it got to a point where I'm like, listen, creators, y'all need to lock in. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Change the whole perspective. Same thing. And I just kept trying to do that with different motifs.
Mhm.
Um, and try to break into, and try to line those things with music at the same time. I even got a hold of Amber Grimes with those listen videos. Her Twitter got hacked on some random stuff. Someone was trying to sell a PS5. It was crazy. And so I was like,
you hacked hers to sell a PS5? If you don't get on my phone up.
Big brain level thinking. Yeah. Employee of the month. What the hell is going on? But
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So that happened. And then I made a video like, listen, get off of Amber Grimes' Instagram. And like, she saw it, and now like, we follow each other and stuff like that. But you can see that how that small connection, and there's so many other little things that I've done too, like my In a Nutshell videos, and then now with lyric videos too. So like, it's so many, and I can't wait to.
That was a great answer, and I think I want to put a pin really quick in that one. And that DIYers, as you're on your content journey, you're going to feel goofy. You're going to do things that feel like, is this even a thing? Am I making something up? I think what you did by listening to that remix video is you realize that there's a framework for this. There's a foundation for this. I was listening to Tony Robbins today, and he said, if you can understand a successful person's belief system, if you can understand their syntax or the language they use as they kind of do their thing, and then also how they use their body, aka their physiology, you'll get a great understanding of how to duplicate that success for yourself. I think something that you did that was powerful is that in the process of doing that lesson, and you do that process, you're learning how to make content, and you're teaching yourself how to create a hook. You're teaching yourself format. Oh, you know what? I should make this video a little shorter. You know what? I should probably pose it as a question to get more engagement. But these are the things that you got to learn no matter what content bucket that you choose. But just choose one, DIYers. Good God.
I know y'all creative, and if we all the same, right. You got many interests, but just lock in on the one. I'd say that to you to say to myself. Lock in on one.
Because it's so frustrating to see these folks who can make the most creative music in the world, and then you put them on Instagram and all they know is how to screenshot SoundCloud play buttons. I want to fight you all.
That's the button. That's the button.
I'm just an up-and-coming media voice. I don't push the button for myself. I'm here for the service of artists like yourself. Getting back to the questions, what is one thing you're doing right now that's clearly working for you as a DIYer, and why do you think it's working?
Man, I think that's a good question. I think that a thing that I've been trying to do, not only just outside of music, that's so super important, is like maintaining just a level of connection with people that I care about. Like not only people that I care about interpersonally, but people that are like out in the, worlds, you know what I mean? I feel like there's, in this sort of space that we are in right now, the most important thing is like not only talking to people, but building community around just your like-minded interests, but also staying consistent. Mm-hmm. Like literally that piece of content that I made back in February when making my Kendrick lyric breakdown videos, I just said I wanted to post once a day of just me talking about how dope the GNX album is. And literally I've been talking about music every day since then. Like one TikTok, one video, just that. Yeah. And that consistency has never failed me one time. Period. I mean, of course, it's going to fail you if you don't have no goals.
Sure.
If you don't have a place to, throw a dart at, it's going to hit the flow.
Yeah.
And you was there.
And you spoke about community. Didn't you just release a new YouTube video that kind of speaks to that same concept? Talk to me about it.
So around the time of me, like in the Portland days when I was in Portland, Oregon, shout out to the folks in Portland, shout out to Dante and all them.
The weirdest place I've ever been to in my life, by the way.
It keep Portland weird. That is what they say. I got some stories.
They mean every word of that. All the way to the Voodoo Donuts. It's
Yep.
it's
Oh
all
my
different
goodness.
here, man. It's all
I
different.
once saw I once saw a fully dressed mattress in a tree once. We'll get into that later. That's a whole
Portland was the
different
last
thing.
time I seen a man have a briefcase in his hand and beach shorts and a briefcase. Where are you going?
Where are you going?
What exactly are we doing?
Portland be dressing hat and shoes first. We don't know what's going on with Portland right now.
Let me not railroad your story. I'm sorry. You were getting into it. You were saying that about the video. Right.
Yeah. So 2022, like I said, I'm working with brands like, Jordan, MLB, and like meeting the most brilliant creative minds in advertising and industry professionals.
Hmm.
And that was a time where I said I need to try to be build some type of community or some type of artist directory that can connect the the creative world that we happen to be in, and just with being DIYers, being people that are just on the ground just creating on an artist level, but at the same time have the capability to talk and converse and build connections with, and collaborate with industry professionals if we had the capability to do so. And so the Atwater Company is something that I created in that video. And that is my goal, to try to at least get 10,000 Voyagers to all get together and collaborate. You know what I'm saying? From all different artistic mediums. I think we can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you talked about what's working right now. I'm gonna get to a more difficult one. What is one thing you're currently doing that's not working or is costing you more time, energy, or freedom than it's giving back? Look at them eyes. Them eyes lit up. He was like, where you want me to start at, Curtis?
Hey, yeah, where are we going? Dang, that's a good question. I ain't gonna lie. Like, it's getting into my own way. I would start there. Creatives, we like to get in our own way a lot. I'm the type of person that's just like, I used to be one track minded with one thing and a lot of details from that one thing. Like, I want to make music, but now I want to make hip hop and indie rock, but keep it hip hop, and make garage rock, but keep it hip hop. And like, you know what I'm saying? And still try to like make a thing. But now I'm in this world where I'm like, I want to make an album, and I want to write a book about the album, and I want to build my own trading cards, and I want to build like a movie theater. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these ideas are all over the place. And I think it's many a times I've gotten in my own way with that. And the projects that I'm trying to do as of late is really stay committed to the decision of doing those projects, because in telling myself that they worth it, I that be killing me the most, because it's just like everything is happening in the world. Like, we can point to anything happening in the world and say this isn't important, but art is the most beautifully dangerous voyage you could ever be a part of, bar none. Toni Morrison said that.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Yes, she did. And that was such a bar. It was such a bar when she said it, because she said, traditionally, even government agencies have attacked the arts first, or they try to quiet the arts because of the power that they hold. I do believe to a certain degree in, the power of certain frequencies, especially low frequencies, right? When you're dealing with music that is heavy on the 808s and heavy on the depressing tonalities, it can have a physical effect on your mood, a physical effect on a lot of things that are going on in your life, especially when it's catchy. It can become a mantra, and it can become so dangerous.
Yep. Period. And that's why it's so important to keep a lock in on our minds of why this culture is important, and why it's important to not have people in this culture that want to galvanize whatever they can and take it somewhere else,
Hello.
and then dump on it and act like it ain't, and like act like it ain't a big deal.
Come on.
Aiden Ross. But hey, I mean,
We're talking to you, Aiden.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, we say
yeah,
names around here. We calling out names
yeah. Hey,
like
hey, don't pop out in Detroit, player. Don't do it.
yeah,
'Cause you know what I'm
yeah. Oh,
saying?
from everywhere,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
catching strays. Oh yeah, this we calling
for
out
real.
names in the name of a philosopher. There's a famous philosopher named Corrupt. Calling out
Yep.
names. Last
Come
question.
on.
One of the last questions I got for you. This one gets a little bit more creative. Imagine you wake up tomorrow and everything related to your independent work is gone. No
Mm,
catalog, no audience, no brand relationships, no momentum. You still have your experience. You still got your
hmm
skills. You still got your work ethic. And you also got a laptop, a phone, internet access, and a small budget. If you had to
mm,
rebuild from absolutely zero as an independent artist or DIYer, what would you
mm.
do first and why?
Man, there's two things that I learned throughout my journey. Okay. Number one, you put the work first.
Hmm.
Okay. Number one, numero uno. The second thing is if you can make it small, you can make it big.
Okay.
Okay. I feel like, and let me cook real quick.
Please do.
The
Please do.
the feeling of it's the waterfall method, right? You make a single, right? And most people don't really be making albums to try to make it make sense. But we come from the era where albums made sense,
Hello.
so it is what it is. That don't got nothing to do with us. But if you take a single and it's about a thing, and it's about a thing, even at the smallest level of you writing it on paper, and no one else can see this thing, there is an idea there. That's like, what is it, like a Higgs boson or whatever? It's like the God particle, super small to this point. You know what I mean? You can build that into making it into a song. And then that song could be a part of a collection of songs that is like that song. And that song could be in a big collection that's like those songs that it's an album. And that album can be this big thing called an album rollout. And that album rollout could have all these different marketing tactics that come with it. And those marketing tactics could have those brand partnerships. And those brand partnerships could lead to bigger collaborations that are like you. And those collaborations could bring you right back to this point
Hmm.
to do it again. You know what I'm saying? It's all about making it small so you can make it big. And that goes with anything, whether it's content on just the phone. Hey, I got this thing and blah, 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 until you end up making movies with Paramount or whatever, Netflix or whatever you want to do,
Right.
HBO Max. We don't know what's going on. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing that's important, and trying not to be so cool about it because, bro, like this is it. This is it. We in the best time right now to make, you know? And if we can't make it small and we overthinking the smallness of it and the trying to be able to be consistent with making the small thing,
Mhm.
we ain't never gonna make the big thing.
Man,
You know?
so many damn
Somebody gonna
so
have
many
to tell
damn
the truth.
gems were just dropped right now. I hope that you've got your I don't know what you carry gems. I don't know what you catch gems in, a basket, a net, whatever you need to do.
Crown Royal bag.
A crown. Put it in your Crown Royal bag and you carry them gems. That's hilarious. I love it, man. I love it. Man, what I love the most about that is it all starts with the faith of a mustard seed. It all starts with small ideas. And even at your most frustrating moments, my most frustrating writing moments, I always go back to the basics, and that's always what brings me back to it, or your why. Whatever the case may be, the answer is going to always, for a complex situation, the answer is going to be so simple. That's just the way of the
Yes.
world. And when you said that about these small ideas that turn into these larger events, it's the same thing. I remember Chance the Rapper saying his approach to making songs is very different. He says, instead of me making a song and making an album out of that, he says, I put the energy of an album creation process into a song. And he says, now as I build this world within this, it'll give me more ideas and more nuance and more references that will create these other ideas that make sense, which is why he has these albums that do sound so well together. So, such a valid point. Last question I got for you, sir. You in the elevator. Somebody like, man, you make music or something, and you're like, yeah, I make music. What is your business card song that you would want them to hear first?
Man, that's a good question, brother.
Just one,
Dang.
because you about to get off this elevator. You're on level 1, trying to go to level 3. He might get off on 2. What's that business card song you like? Hey, pull this up on your YouTube. Hit me up later.
Man, I'm gonna say quicksand.
Quicksand. Why quicksand?
I'm gonna say quicksand because, for one, it was the first time during the pandemic, when, like I said, that time when I was like really down and things was happening, and I'm like, what is going on with this streaming thing? What is going on with all these things? Quicksand was the moment where me and my homie Wyandotte linked up. I was like, bro, we gotta do it. I don't know what we gotta do, but we gotta do it. We made this song, and I think it just now hit 1 million streams on Spotify now. And the thing is not about the numbers for real. It's about the fact that I felt that feeling of just like, no, I have to get it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that energy was the thing that I'm thinking about the most. You know what I'm saying? When you lock in with your team, or whoever even team is that word, but like the homies, whoever your homie is, your bro.
Yeah, your comrades, your dogs, the ones that understand, the ones you can look at, and then you be like, man, you know what you should do? I'm already doing it. Damn it, how did you know what I was? Because we just that locked in.
That's a different world. You lock in with that one person, dog, and you're on the same page. It don't matter what y'all make, it's going to be gas.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Man. And I want to double on top of what you said earlier, which was, there's a saying that I say to myself, which is, there's no such thing as easy and there's no such thing as hard. There is only simple and challenging. Because a thing can be simple, but that don't mean it's easy. Because posting once a day ain't easy, but it is simple.
It's very simple. Do it. It's very simple instructions. Just post every day.
You feel me? But just because something is challenging, don't mean it's hard. Posting once a day, challenging, bro. We got life. There's so many different things happening, but it ain't hard, bro. Pull the phone.
Come on. I'll put up a tweet today. I said our grandfathers used to move around floor model TVs. They used to drive Cadillacs that were made of real metal. They used to work out to oldies. We got all this bass pumping music thinking that they used to work out to oldies. And they used to let the hair bald in the middle, and they just let the hair on the side. That's a different type of strength. That's a different type of patience. We don't understand that kind of patience. You know what I'm saying? So before you get to talking about this shit so hard to do, nigga, you ever moved your grandmama's floor model TV?
They ain't never picked up a washing machine by themselves because your daddy said so.
Your daddy said that's what men do. It's about Detroit dog. This is Jay Squared, man. I appreciate you taking the time and sharing your story. This has been another episode of Live from the Underground today with Jay Squared. If this conversation resonated with you, DIYers, tap in, support the work, stay curious. We'll see you on the next episode. Thank you again, Jay Squared.
Hey, I'm happy to be here, y'all. Follow me at I Love J Squared on everything, and ilovejsquared.com.
Yeah.
What's good?
Hey.
DIY.
Tear in your eye.